Hey everybody, it's me, Mitchell Jones. It's been a few weeks since I've been here to talk. Just got some things on my heart, on my mind tonight, and I want to get those things out here. Want to talk about them. Want to see where everybody is, and just to check in and to have a little bit of conversation. If you're coming in the room, I'll give people a couple of minutes to get in here. Wave at me so I'll see your name. I'm okay tonight if you like the post, share the post, so that way it will get to as many people as can be. It's been a minute, so I definitely want to talk. Definitely want to talk to you tonight. It's been a long time, and I'm not going to make any apologies. This is not going to be one of the shortest posts, but that's okay. It'll be here for you or for anybody else who wants to come back and watch it later. I just want to share some things that's clearly on my heart, some things that's on my mind, and I just want to tell you where I am. There's a lot going on around us. There's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot going on, not just in America. There's a lot going on in other countries, third world countries, the most industrialized nations. It does not matter. There's a lot going on, but it's all going on for a reason. It's all leading to something. It is all connected. It is all interwoven together. I do not believe in coincidences. I do not believe that things just happen. I don't believe that things just happen. I believe that things happen purposefully, and things happen with purpose, for a purpose, and for a reason. And because those things are happening, I believe that you and I should hone in and pay attention and focus on the things that are happening around us. And if we're focusing on them, even if you don't focus on them, if you're aware that they're happening, then even if it's not at that moment when those things are meant to be meaningful to you, the reason that those things happen and the answer for certain things happening will come to you, if that makes sense to you. The first thing I want to talk about, just want to talk about social media and these algorithms and things that they use to decide how we see things, or what we see and when we see them. Yesterday, I was watching a live feed, or what I thought was a live feed, of some of the demonstrations or some of the looting that was going on in Minnesota. And because I was busy with my kids in the kitchen, they were cooking and I was cleaning, the video was playing. And at some point, I realized that the video had looped. Now let me tell you why I'm bringing that up to you. Because I can send out a video, or I can send out a post, and only a few people see it. And then they can choose to take what they're saying is a live video that had 25, at one point 150,000 people watching live, and they're just looping it. And that's being done because they want to control. They want to control the narrative. They want to control what you see. And if they can control the narrative by controlling what you see, then if they put the images in front of us long enough, and they put the words in our hearing long enough, then those will be the images that stick in our minds, and the words that they say repetitively will be the things that we will remember. Therefore, the narrative that they want us to have is what we will have, because of what we hear and because of what we see. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with us looking at it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with us seeing it or it being shown to us, because I am grateful that we are able and we are allowed to see it. Therefore, we can become aware that it is happening, and we can become aware that it exists, and that it's not just happening in our own individual communities, but it's happening in this entire country. I want us to be aware of that. during this pandemic situation, there was a black DJ on a Sunday morning who was in his kitchen, and he was just spinning some tunes. He obviously had taken a lot of time and energy and put into what he was going to be sharing in the way of songs, because all of his songs connected with a theme around them. And this guy had gotten up to 25,000 people were listening to him organically, that the algorithms could not control. And at some point, his feed completely dropped. And when he came back live, he was only able to get up to 3,000 people, because Facebook is not interested in you organically having 25 or 50,000 people watching your live feed or watching your videos that you are posting without you spending some money to get those videos to a certain number of people, unless they are interested in showing or displaying what it is that you are saying, in order to be able, again, to control the narrative or to be able to spin something in a particular way. And I want to tell you something, that people in this country, and people of color in particular, and in particular people that consider themselves black people, we have got to become wise. We have got to become wise. We have got to be aware of the tactics that are being used. We've got to be aware of the tactics that are being used. I'm going to say it again. We have got to become aware of the tactics that are being used and how those tactics are playing into the mindset that is being given to us and being given to our children. We cannot allow our children just to watch what social media wants them to see and spin it the way they want them to see it, without us having conversations, educating our own children as to what it is they are looking at and why it is being shown to them. See, for those of you that are Christian or spiritual, or you want to be biblical, it says that we got to be wise as serpents, but harmless as doves. We've got to be wise. And there's another scripture that says that if it were possible that the very elect of God would be fooled. I believe that's us. I believe that's us. When I say us, I believe that's us. And in particular, I believe that is us as black people. We got to become aware, and we have to become wise. Now I'm not talking about the looting. I'm not talking about the violent demonstrations that are happening in places. That is not what I am addressing at this moment. But I'm telling you, this is not just going to be won by guns. This is going to be won by some well thought out plans that go way beyond a march, that go way beyond a rally, that go way beyond the demonstration in the street. And part of me believes that this is what they want. This is what they want to see, because if we can be provoked, then this gives the justification in their minds to bring out dogs and to bring out tear gas and to bring out tanks. Oh, don't think they won't take it to that level. They will. Many people are in an uproar because Donald Trump is tweeting, when they loot, we shoot. Listen, we got to understand that I don't care whether you're Democrat or Republican, that somebody on both sides, or many of them on both sides, are working together to spin this narrative to keep divide and conquer. And it's not just a white against color. It's not just Democrat or Republican. Anything that you can think to divide, they're going to try to use a tactic to get division on any available front that they can, because the more divided the people are, the easier it is for them to get their agenda over and take over and to control and to treat us like we are we are nothing but slaves. Listen, if you think that the plantation is no longer in existence, it's still here, and it's not just black people on the plantation now. They want to get a hold of all the people of the world. There's a few people with 95 or more % of the wealth that want to get a hold of they want to have control over every area of industry to control the masses. That's what this plan is about. It's so much, the coronavirus was the front, and that's still out there, but it's all these other things that's going on behind the scenes. There's a saying that says never let a situation, or never let a catastrophe like this go to waste. Never let a catastrophe go to waste. You understand what I'm saying? When situations like a pandemic come up, that means that they're going to take an opportunity and take advantage of the situation and begin to do some things behind the scenes that they've been wanting to do, that they have not done, but now this gives them an opportunity to do it because people are focusing on the coronavirus while so many other things are going on in the backdrop. And by the time people realize what has gone on, it is a little bit too late. A little bit too late, because the executive orders will have already been signed. The resolutions will have already been made into statutes, and so many things will have been enacted that people just didn't pay attention to because they were focusing on the thing that they wanted you to focus on, which was the coronavirus. Let me tell you how cunning and crafty this whole media situation is. A few weeks ago, Aubrey Ahmad was all over the place on certain news stations, and I was flipping through the channels, and I just said, let me see what's going on. CNN was plastering that whole evening. It was all about this killing, and I said, well, let me turn to Fox News and see what's on. I turned to Fox News. No mention of Aubrey Ahmad at all. Now, my point is, CNN is being used to spin the story one way, and on Fox News, there's no mention of this case or this killing or this murder at all. And my point is that those of you that are Democrats, you watch CNN, you get your news from CNN, and that's the narrative that they want you to have as a Democrat. And those of you that are Republicans, you're getting your news from Fox News because that's the narrative that they want you to have as a Republican. And the same people are controlling 95% of all sources of media. So the divide and conquer can continue. So when they decide to take over, or when they decide to take more control or more of our liberties and our freedoms, they got both sides. Because they spun you over here on Fox News as a Republican, and they spun you over here on the other side as a Democrat on CNN. And I'm telling you, we got to begin to get wiser, and we've got to begin to think logically and critically about the things that's being done in this world. And if we're not able to see, and if we're not able to separate what's being told to us and what is true and what's resonating in our heart, we are not going to rise to the top and overcome evil with good. There are real battles and real struggles that's going on in the world. Listen, everybody came in 2020 excited. It's the year of vision. Oh, you're going to see clear. You're going to see plain. Well, guess what? We are approaching June the 1st on Monday. 5 months will have gone by after Sunday has ended. And look at all the things that's coming open, the things that's being unveiled, the things that's coming into our hearing, the things that's coming into our sight. We're being awakened. We're being made aware. We're being challenged. And some of you want to go to sleep. Some of you want to go under a rock and you want to hide, because listen, when there's no awareness, when there's no knowledge, then you're not held accountable. And then there's nothing that's causing you to want to change, or there's nothing there that is challenging you to change. Many of you are ready to go back to your normal. When is everything going to go back the way it was? You know, yes, some of that is true for me too, but I have to stop and think, and I'm cautioning you and I'm asking you to stop and think how costly it will be if things go back to normal and we have not learned anything. If things go back to normal and nothing has really changed. This pause has caused all of us to be able to see something that we've not seen before. Racism, it's always been here. I think I saw something that Will Smith had posted, that it's just being filmed now. It's never changed. It's always been here. And so, you know, again, I want us to be aware. My son told me today that TikTok had made some apology. Listen, this is social media. TikTok has made an apology saying that, you know, there was something happened, and the hashtags for Black Lives Matter and the hashtags for George Floyd, they somehow, you know, something was flawed. Listen, let me tell you, nothing's flawed. There are no coincidences. These things aren't happening by chance. Listen, if they can tell you a lie and you believe the lie, then their plan, then their plot is working. If somebody can tell you a lie and you believe the lie, then the plan or the plot is working. We have to begin to see through the lies, because listen, once you realize that someone is lying to you, or that a lie is being told to you, then the game is over. And that's what needs to happen. We need to begin to see through the lies, because some of you are so naive and you don't believe that there are people that are evil enough or heartless enough to take the life of somebody else. Listen, if you see somebody in the situation that George Floyd was in, and you see somebody that's got their knee on their neck for that length of time and can smile or can laugh but have no remorse and have no kind of conscience about that, listen, I don't care what you say, that's not a human. That is not a human, and that's a conversation for another whole subject. But many of you don't believe that exists. You think that everybody that you look at is human, and that's a little bit deeper than some of you can handle. But I don't have time. I won't even deal with all of that tonight. But I want you to understand. Particularly, let me say this to those of you that are Christians, because you can swallow it this way. When Satan fell from heaven, when Lucifer fell from heaven, it says a third of the angels fell with him. And if a third of the angels fell with him, what do you think is going on in the world today? Everybody that you're looking at is not for right. Everybody that you're looking at is not for good. There are many people that can do evil acts. They can take a life. They can attempt to control other people. They can give vaccines to the whole world for their own agenda with no conscience. They sleep well at night. They wake up well in the morning because they are not human. Humans have compassion. Humans have love. Humans don't want to destroy other people just because it fits their agenda and it fits their model. They won't torture children. They won't rape children for their sexual pleasure and torture them and then drink their blood in order to live longer or to become young. Listen, there are truly sick people in this world. There are sick, psychotic people that not all of them, that are in high places. And some of us are not seeing it as face value. Some of us are thinking that these people are, that spiritual wickedness is just in church. No, many of you are watching spiritual wickedness on television. You're watching it in politicians. Some of you, you're watching it, in Hollywood. All of the systems that are controlled by the super rich of this world are controlled by the super rich of this world. And many of the people that are paid the way that they are paid are being paid the way that they are paid to go along with the plot, to go along with the plan. You got to begin to see this. And if you don't see this, then their agenda is going to continue. I want to bring awareness, because if there's awareness, then whatever your spiritual practice is, whether that's meditation or whether that's chanting or incantations that are good, or whether your method is praying and fasting, I believe that those of us who are aware. Now, I can't speak to those that want to loot and want to use violence. I'm not even going to judge them. I have nothing to say for it. I have nothing to say against it. But I'm telling you, for those of us that's not what we want to do, or that's not what we feel comfortable doing, we can have our part. We can have it through meditation. We can have it through prayer. We can have it through fasting. You can have it through positive affirmations. I'm telling you that that's what we have to do, and that's what we have to continue to do in order to defeat the things in the world that we don't want that we don't want to see. Like many of you who've been vaccinated all your life, all of a sudden you're not up for the vaccination. You're not up for a COVID-19 vaccination. But if that's something that we're going to be able to push back as a people in this country and as people around the world, our minds have to become unified. Our minds have to become unified. And I'm telling you, our very thoughts, our very intentions that we bring together can defeat those things. And for those that believe that they need to use violence for that, that's them, that's on them. I don't have a lot to say about that, because guess what? I don't have judgment for something I don't understand. But I know me. And I'm saying I'm going to do my part. And so wherever you are and however you're wired, however you think, however you operate, then use what's good for you. Use your method to begin to push back the forces of darkness, the forces of evil, the forces that want to control us, the forces that just want to make us robots, the forces that just want to use artificial intelligence against us. Come on, I know I'm all over the place, but listen, there are that many things that's going on at one time that are all connected. They're all interwoven to this new world order, or this one world government, or this one world monetary system. And all it amounts to is that there are people who are greedy, who are prideful, who don't understand sharing, who are fine with homelessness. Hello, they're fine with hunger. They're okay with all of those things. Listen, people who are okay with homelessness and okay with people being hungry in the world are heartless and are inhumane. They are not humans. People are talking about the guy that owns Amazon, and they're bragging, oh my God, he's about to become, he's on course to become the first trillionaire. How much money would it take to end hunger in America? I think somebody said 30 million or $30 billion is what it takes. Well, guess what? What if the man that owns Amazon stroked the check for $30 billion to take care of hunger in America, or hunger in the world, I believe is what was said. 30 billion to take care of hunger in the world. Just think about that for a second. The man who owns Amazon has the power to end hunger in the world all by himself. Wonder why he won't do it. Wonder why. But guess what? We're going to go to Amazon left and right and order things because it's convenient for us and we want it when we want it, blah, 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 blah. I'm not saying not to do it, but I'm saying let's have some awareness that there are real solutions to what look like major problems in this world. These things can be fixed quickly and can be eradicated almost in a year. But why? There are people who have the power and authority to do those things, but they will not do them because that's not their agenda. That's not their agenda. And those are the things that we've got to become aware of so that we can begin to, in our minds, in our hearts, and in our speaking, begin to declare and to decree the things that we want to see and believe that we should see. Come on, there's an all-out war here. There's an all-out spiritual war. There's an all-out mental and emotional war that's going on. And it's probably going to get even more so on foot than we think. There's another civil war in the making. It looks like it's starting right now. Where are you? What are you going to do? What part are you going to play? What's in your heart? I'm not telling you what to do or how to do it. I'm not even making major suggestions of what you should do, but I'm telling you that you should be taking part in demonstrating against evil, demonstrating against what you're seeing that you know for sure 2020 isn't right. Whether that's in your prayer, whether that's in your meditation, whether that's in your physical participation in a demonstration. You should be doing something, and just watching a video and sharing it, just watching a video and talking about it is not you doing something about it. I watched somebody respond today on one of the videos that was showing us a demonstration going on, and there's a woman by the name of Karen Klein who commented. She's from Fulton, New York, who's a manager of a Pier 1 Imports. She commented, when is somebody going to get these monkeys out of here, or something like that. And I went through the comments and I saw nobody saying anything about getting Karen Klein in Fulton, New York, fired as a manager of Pier 1. And if you don't fire her, Pier 1, then we are not going to spend any money in your store. Now, I went to the map to look up the Pier 1 store in Fulton, near Fulton, New York, and it's Clay, New York, and I personally am going to contact that store. It says it's temporarily closed, but that's okay. I'm going to go to the Pier 1. I'm going to go to the Pier 1 website. I screenshot her comment. I screenshot her Facebook page that's no longer available for viewing. And if nobody responds to Pier 1 but me, Karen Klein, if she's still employed with Pier 1 as a manager, she will not be a Pier 1 employee anymore when I get done. So maybe I'm not out there with a gun. I don't own a gun, but guess what? I am intelligent enough and I am methodical enough to be able to put together a letter and press the point with Pier 1. And if they do nothing about it, then I'll take that to social media. Again, I'm not suggesting to you what to do, but I'm telling you, you need to be participating in making sure that the forces of evil, the forces of darkness, or just the forces that want to take over and control and it no longer be about your freedom of speech and your freedom of religion and your right to bear arms. Listen, they are coming after all of us. They're not coming after one race. They're coming after all of us. And the race war is just being used as a part of their tactics to control all. We've got to be aware of what's going on. We've got to stick together. I told my brother, one of my brothers today, when I was talking to him, when I was on my way home from work, I said, you know what? I said, we better get together and make sure and pay somebody, if it's somebody that we can take out of employment, and pay one person to be able to oversee a garden and grow crops that will feed us 9 and mom and dad and our children and our grandchildren. Listen, people, we better begin to think that way. We cannot take for granted that we have always had the shelves full in these stores. What if that doesn't come back? What if it gets worse? Come on, if we just assume it's all going back to normal, then we might be being lulled to sleep only to wake up one day and there be nothing on aisles and aisles. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but we've got to begin to prepare and begin to think differently, and we've got to begin to respond differently. Listen, we just got to begin to do that. I mentioned the TikTok thing earlier, and let me tell you something. If you are a TikTok user, if you are a TikTok viewer, and you believe that it was a mistake for them to overlook the hashtag George Floyd's and the hashtag Black Lives Matter, but you're so hell bent on TikTok because you just gotta be on TikTok, because you just gotta go viral. Listen, we gotta have some strength. We gotta have some unity, and we can't be so caught up on what social media brings to us in the way of entertainment that we're not willing to do without it or shut it off if it's not going to be fair. Now, I don't know the full tactic and the full reason that Donald Trump says he wants to shut down social media. Well, part of the reason it looks like it's because Twitter doesn't want to exactly tweet what he wants to say. Now, I don't have to agree with everything that he says, but guess what? There are things that I will say that Facebook may not agree with, or YouTube may not agree with, or Twitter may not agree with, or Instagram may not agree with. And then if I can't say what I want to say because it's what I believe, and it's just going to be pulled because that's my belief or that's my opinion, then my freedom of speech is being stepped on. And so I'm not trying to get into an argument or debate about what President Trump is saying, about what President Trump is tweeting, but just be very careful about how you may think or say that his rights or privileges should be taken away to tweet that. Listen, I can say what I want to say to you, but it's how you respond. You can say what you want to say to me, but it's how I respond. And I'm not advocating for him or for anyone else, but understand this. Make sure you're considering yourself, your liberties and your freedoms, your quote unquote supposed rights before you decide what someone else should be allowed or should not be allowed to do. Because again, remember, there's a big game plan that you may not see, and that may be a part of the plan. That may be a part of the narrative. And I certainly can tell you this: if he can tweet when they loot, we shoot, then you better know that is tactic, that is propaganda, that is to stir up a certain group of people, a certain type of person. You gotta see the tactic behind it, and you gotta know how to combat it. Again, if you're gonna play the Republican-Democrat game for the rest of your life, you are going to be lost if Republicans don't begin to see that there's some truth to what's going on the Democratic side, and if Democrats don't begin to see that there's some truth to what's going on the Republican side, the game of monopoly is going to continue. You got to begin to ask for vision. You got to begin to ask for clarity. You got to begin to ask for understanding. You got to begin to ask for wisdom. You got to begin to ask for the knowledge so that you can see beyond what is being shown to you. Because listen, the plot is only going to get thicker, and they're only going to speed it up, because the quicker they can get people in a disarray, then the quicker they can have justification for martial law and lock you down further than you think you've been locked down in a COVID-19 quarantine. I'm telling you what's on their hearts and what's on their minds. Let me address these wearing masks for a moment. Again, listen, I want to drive this home. I live my life by this right here. Listen, I may not do what you do. You may not do what I do. But I don't have any judgment for you. And with the mask wearing, listen, All I'm asking any of you to do is to consider why someone who's choosing not to wear a mask is not wearing a mask, and don't automatically pass judgment and think that that person doesn't care about you or doesn't care about the pandemic situation. Just kind of keep that there, because there are people who have medical reasons as to why they aren't wearing a mask. And then there are people who have political reasons as to why they're choosing not to wear a mask, because some of it, maybe you're so fearful and you're afraid that you're going to catch something. But there are other people who are not fearful and not afraid of catching COVID-19. It's more important for them politically to make a statement and not be controlled, because it's not a law, even though it's an ordinance that's being suggested. Listen, there are attorneys who've provided people with documentation, with legal jargon that they can share and show outside of medical reasons as to why they don't have to wear masks. So I don't care what side of the coin you're on, whether you're for wearing a mask or not wearing a mask. I'm just asking you to get all of the information that you can on both sides and then make your own decision. But don't judge a person or allow a divide to come, because watch this. Now we'll have a new divide. Mask wearers against people who are not. You can close that door. You can close it since you opened it. There are people who would. Here's a new divide: mask wearers against non-mask wearers, and automatically assuming that the person that is wearing a mask is on a different side of a whole argument, or on a different side of spirituality than you are because of a mask. A mask can be something that can be used to divide. Whatever your thoughts are about it, listen, if you're compelled to wear one, wear it. But if you're not compelled to wear one, then don't wear it, and be okay. Be okay, because all of us are here having individual journeys. And it's okay if somebody chooses something other than you, because if you don't have the information or the knowledge that they have, then that might be the reason why you're wearing one, or that might be the reason why you're not wearing one. Rather than getting into arguments or getting into these things that will come into your mind that'll become another reason to separate and divide. I'm telling you, you may not think so, but something as simple as somebody wearing a mask or not wearing a mask can be a divider, and we don't need to let it become that. Let me just kind of point out something to you. If you get in a car and you drive every day, you're taking a calculated risk based on information that you have. It is a known fact that every day when you leave home, if you're driving a car, there's a possibility that you're going to get into an accident. There is also a possibility that you're going to die in a car accident if you have one. But you still take the risk because you calculate the reward from driving the car to be greater than the risk of you getting into an accident and or dying in a car accident. Your reward from driving that car is greater. And I said that to say, with the mask, wearing or not wearing it, people are choosing to take their very own calculated risk. Again, I'm not here to argue whether it's right or wrong, or you should or you shouldn't, or whether you say, well, that's what the governor said, or that's what the president said. Some people don't care what the governor said. Some people don't care what the president said. People are taking their liberties to be independent and make their own decisions and take their own risks. So while you're doing it for protection, another person may not be doing it because they believe their freedoms are being encroached on. And I know that doesn't sit well with many of you because you're self-righteous and you think that your way is the only way. And that doesn't work. And I can say that because I used to be like that. I thought that my way was the only way. I thought that the Jesus way was the only way. I thought that the Bible way was the only way. I thought the Christian way was the only way. So I thought everybody else was wrong and on their way to hell because I thought that what I had was the absolute truth. And if you're gonna have that kind of posture, there's never gonna be any unity, because again, there's another divider, religion. Not here to talk about anybody's religion, but I'm just pointing out that anything that can be used as a divide, they will use it. And you and I have got to begin to be wiser and smart enough not to allow anything to keep us divided as people, because we've got a government, not only a government, but we've got people that's sitting behind government, that's controlling governments around the world with their money and with their authority, and they're making decisions, and you never see them on a television screen. It's way more to it than what you see. Listen, I spoke about the protest, violence and nonviolence. I know some people say, oh my God, this is not what MLK wanted, but that may be your thoughts about it. But guess what? There are some people who believe that Malcolm X's way was a better way. I'm not here to say yes to one and no to the other, yes to the other and no to the other. I'm not here to do that. But I'm here to say that, you know what? I don't know where you are on it, but do something. Take a stand in your mind. Take a stand in your thoughts. Know what it is you believe. Know what it is you think about it. And when you think about it logically, so that when you speak, you can speak intelligently on what your stance is, on what your position is, on what your belief is about whatever it is. Because if somebody asks you a question about it and you just, I don't know, I just think it's wrong. No. That's not good enough anymore. That you should have an answer. You should have an explanation. Get all of the information on both sides, on all angles that you can receive information, and be informed and make informed decisions, and not just riding the wave, because the way that the wave is going is coming from the political persuasion that you believe in, or it's coming from the denominational persuasion that you believe in, or that you support and or follow. You've got to begin to think for yourself. You got to begin to think for yourself. And that was one of the problems that the Most High God had out of the chosen people. They didn't want individual relationship. They wanted Moses. No, you tell us what the Most High God is saying. No, the Most High God can tell you what he's saying if you'll listen. And I promise you, if we are all connected to the Most High God, the universe, to the greatest, the only source of ultimate power on this earth, if we're connected to that source, then you and I at some level can walk in unity and not necessarily agree on everything. But again, we've got so many dividers that's keeping us away from each other. And when it's keeping us away from each other, it's keeping our hearts from being knit together and from being able to stand together. And I'm telling you that the tactics that we use against the forces of evil, and the tactics that we use against these Luciferians that are operating out here in society, and the white supremacists and the white supremacist agenda, it's going to have to go way beyond a demonstration. It's going to have to go way beyond a rally. It's going to have to go way beyond a looting of a store. And again, I'm not speaking for it. I'm not speaking against it. But I'm saying, if this is what we're going to do when this is over, we better have some things that we are methodically thinking about and strategically planning to do to continue. You know, I see this thing going around about July the 7th and not spending money. But let me tell you, if we only going to spend it on the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, the 11th, or the 12th, then it really won't matter if we're going to stop that spending for one day. Now, guess what? I'm aware that we got to spend. We've got to spend. But let me tell you what we don't have to do. We don't have to spend our money where we don't need to spend it. And we certainly don't have to spend our money with people that don't necessarily want to support us or want to stand with us. We've got great economic power, and most of us won't even use it because you got issues. You got issues with your identity, and you got self-esteem issues. So you gotta hair it up, and you gotta dress it up, and you gotta Gucci it up and Louis it up. And I'm not saying anything against those things, because I like nice things. But I can tell you this. If you don't support me, if you don't support my community, then I promise you won't get my money, because I can wear jeans that have no name on it, that nobody cares anything about, as long as I am clothed. We've got to begin to think that way. Our investing has to become more important than the name brand clothes that we wear. Listen, media's feeding us that. Our finances have to become more important than the type of car we drive, or what somebody else thinks about the car we drive, or the neighborhood or the house that we live in. Because let me tell you, if you live in a house that everybody marvels after, and if you're now facing foreclosure because you didn't have any fund for a rainy day, then guess what? You're just like the man that has a trailer in a trailer park who can't pay his rent 3 months down the road. You're in no better shape. The principle is the same, and I'm not judging anybody, because I've been there. I know what that's like. And guess what? Even coming into this pandemic, I was right there again in my life. Not because my spending habits were out of control, but just because of life's situation that I'm okay with, because those things have made me the person that I am. Look, you look behind me, you see that comforter set on that bed. That is not my style. But you know where that came from? That belonged to somebody else's. They weren't using it anymore, and it was in the comforter set bag. But guess what? I needed one, and I didn't have to pay a dime for it. So it may not be my taste, but guess what? It's covering my bed, and nor do I care what you think about it or anybody else thinks about it. It serves its purpose. I'm working on my cryptocurrency portfolio. I'm working on buying stocks. It may not be a lot, but I got $40 worth of Google. I got $40 worth of Amazon. I've got $40 worth of some cannabis company up in Canada. I've got $40 of Boeing. Yes, because listen, I've got $40 of Apple. Yeah, I just did that. This week, because I'm going to start somewhere. And those of you got Cash App, you got Stash, you got Ameritrade, you got Fidelity Investments that you can go to begin to invest. And it doesn't take thousands of dollars anymore. You can invest $5. It does not matter. We've got to begin to do it. If we don't do it, we won't be able to make the excuses, and we won't be able to have our own, because that's what it's about. It's got to become about us having our own. When all of these demonstrations are over, if we're still going to stand in the line and pay $200 or more for a pair of sneakers and don't have $200 or more invested in stocks or invested in a savings account or just under your mattress for a rainy day, if you and I don't have that equal amount of money that we're blowing, then we deserve to get what we get, because we are proud and we are prideful and we're greedy. And if that's the way that we are going to be, then we're going to get what we get. I shared earlier today on social media because it was on my mind, and I didn't have time to make a video or anything, but the universe is only going to give back what is sown. If you're a spiritual or Christian, then God's only going to give you back what you sow. And that's what's going on in the world. That's what's going on in the earth. I don't need you to be fearful. Fear will suppress your immune system. Fear will stagnate you. Fear will cause you not to think about what is to come. Fear will cause you not to think about what you should do. Fear will cause you not to think about what you will do. We can't be fearful, because if we're going to be fearful, then we are not going to be able to focus, to be able to see, be able to hear what it is we need to see and to hear, so that we can gain an understanding, wisdom, and knowledge, and begin to do some things. Listen, I've got 6 brothers. I've got 2 sisters. My parents are still living. They've been married for 60 years. And we've said it. years ago, and I'm telling my brothers that when I'm talking to them individually, that you know what, we've got to do something for ourselves. We can't wait for the government to give us another stimulus check. We can't wait until they decide to figure out the supply chains, where the only thing that they're going to figure out is what they want to figure out. And the only thing that they're going to figure out is what they need to do long enough to continue their plot, to continue their plan, because that by the time it unfolds, by the time it unveils, it's going to be too late for you to make changes. It's going to be too late for people to get together and try to organize. It's going to be too late to get together for people to try to, oh my God, we're going to have our own gardens. We're going to raise our own animals. If you're going to eat meat, I'm telling you, you better get with somebody and buy your own cows. If you're going to eat pork, you better get with some people and buy your own pigs, and find somebody that will process that for you. I'm not advocating eating meat, and I'm not telling you not to, but I'm telling you, you better begin to think differently and methodically. And more than anything, I want you to understand that the end has already been determined from the beginning. And I'm telling you, the chosen people of the Most High, we win. We come out on top when this is over. Our rightful place is going to be restored. All of the lies that have been told and in history books are going to be uncovered and overturned. But let me tell you something, people of the Most High. Let me tell you, black folks, something in particular. You need to open your eyes and stop turning away from any and everything that is different from what you've been fed up to this point in your life. Because it's your turning away from everything other than what you've been told or taught or believed at this point that is going to be your demise. Fear. Lack of knowledge is what will destroy. If you think that the white Jesus that they gave you is all that there is to your Christianity, then you're going to be lost. Their plan is working. I shared this many of times, and many folks aren't aware. The College of William and Mary in Williamsburg, Virginia, at the very core, quote unquote, of this nation that we call the United States of America. It's situated right down from Duke Street. It is situated right down where the senators met. If you've never been to Williamsburg and been down to Duke Street Duke Street, Gloucester Street, somewhere in Colonial Williamsburg, it is there where they met, where they went to church, where they made laws. And the College of William and Mary sits right outside of Colonial Williamsburg on that John Rolfe Highway and Richmond Road. It sits there. It was put there as a seminary, not a pre-law school, not a pre-med school. It was put there to teach the white preachers what to teach to the white parishioners. It was there to teach the white preachers what to teach to the black people, to the slaves. And guess what? That same gospel that was given to the slaves is the same gospel that's being perpetuated all throughout the church. And I'm telling you, if you don't begin to study for yourself, and I'm talking beyond what your pastor's doing, because many of our leaders need an awakening, because most of them are only regurgitating something that their mentor said. And they're regurgitating what they heard growing up, and they're regurgitating what they were taught at a seminary. It's not by chance that those words are similar. There's always a little bit of truth. There's always a little bit of leavening in the whole lump. Or there's always clues. There are always signs that will lead us to what's true, to uncover things that we need to understand. If we would just begin to pay attention. But that requires you to be open. That requires you to be vulnerable. That requires you to lose fear. That requires you to lose the thought of God becoming angry at you because you read something that opposes your current belief system. Listen, I'm telling you, y'all, if we don't begin to do that and begin to think methodically and logically and begin to see things in a whole new light, we're going to miss the next big move. Listen, this thing can be turned right side up. It can be turned right side up. Listen, the people that want to control, they're trying to get SpaceX. They were trying to get off the first two men up on Elon Musk's some vehicle that he built, some rocket or some sort that he built to get humans there. Look, let me paint the picture for you for a second. The United States shut down its whole space program. The United States shut down its whole space program when President Obama was in office. And now all of that exploration is being given to one man, and we think that he's just doing it because he wants to be the first person to do it. Do you think it's by chance that Elon Musk is the one who's being allowed to take the forefront on electric cars? Electric cars that didn't just get here. They're just deciding to let them loose because they want them loose. Because they want them out there because they can put 5G with them and they can take over them if they choose to, because you won't have to hold the steering wheel and you can read a book and you can check your Facebook and you can have social media contact while the car just takes you where it wants to go until somebody else decides to remotely take over that car. Artificial intelligence, quantum computers. Listen, let me tell you something about artificial intelligence. If you haven't done any research, yeah, I know I'm all over the place, and I have intention to be all over the place tonight because it's not my job to educate you. It's my job to stir those up who will hear my voice and go and do research on their own and make decisions for themselves. Artificial intelligence, it is designed to learn from us. But the end game of artificial intelligence is that it will be strong enough and smart enough to destroy us. Now watch this. You say, well, why would they do that? Well, they'll do that because they think their mind is not even wired, and you may not believe this. Their mind is not even wired to understand what I just said to you. Because their goal is to use artificial intelligence to control. But if they can use artificial intelligence to control, that's all they think that is there for. It is there to control. But the end game of artificial intelligence is it will become smarter than us and it will be stronger than us. And if we don't check artificial intelligence at the door, artificial intelligence will destroy mankind or humans. Listen, I want to say this to you, particularly those of you who are Christians. If you think that everybody that's walking around that you look at on a day-to-day basis is human, you better read your Bible again. If you think that, go back and look up the Nephilim. Go back and look up the fallen angels and tell me where they are and what you think happened to them. Yeah, I know you think they fell from heaven out of the sky and just came down here on the earth. I want to challenge you to go do some research on your Christianity, on the roots of Christianity and where it came from. You and I, black people, listen, we were always here. We were always here. It is impossible to take the absence of melanin and get melanin. It is impossible to take the absence of melanin and get melanin, but it is very possible to take melanin and move it away from the equator for long enough and get other skin tones. It's true. I don't care what narrative they put on it, but if you don't begin to think that and understand that, you're going to be fooled. And if the very elect of God can be fooled, then their plan is over. But I'm telling you that the very elect of God are not going to be fooled, because the book says that it's not possible. Now, you don't have to believe the book, but I'm just telling you this, that the plan of evil, the plan to control all of us and to make all of us robots and to do whatever they want to do and make us do what they want to do and put a chip in us and nanotechnology that they can use to control our nerves and to tap on our nerves and to begin to twist our thinking and to begin to change our decision-making process. Listen, all of that is possible with artificial intelligence and nanotechnology and nanocomputers and nano robots that can be put into your body with a virus. You better pay attention. You better pay attention. They want to tattoo something on you, to take a little thing that you press on your skin, the vaccine tattoo or some kind of identification tag, in the way of a little tattoo that has little needles in it that will go into your skin that can be scanned and have all information about you, whether you've been vaccinated or not. Our phones are being tracked. They know where we are, who we have come in contact with. They already know that. The only thing that we're being told right now is that the names are not being released. This is only being used for contact tracing, for tracing people that have come in contact with those who have been affected. Listen, if you believe that's going to be the end game of that, then you believe what you want. You believe what you want to believe. If they will take your phone when you're arrested and download everything in your phone, and what they can't get from there, they will go to cell phone manufacturers. They will go to cell phone carriers and get permission. And if they don't give them what they want, they will get it. They'll use force. They'll sabotage their stocks. They'll sabotage that company. They'll do that. And people will give up information when it comes to them receiving money, when it comes to them being able to be greedy and have their own selfish desires met. You best believe it will. You best believe it will, and it can happen. Listen, I'm going to end right here because I've said a lot of things, but that was my intention. It was my intention to say a lot. It was my intention to throw out a lot of different topics. So whatever catches you, I wanted it to catch you so that you can go and make a decision and do something for yourself, do something for your kids. We've got a responsibility to leave a legacy here. Listen, I don't believe that we're on our way out of here. I don't believe it's going to be that easy. And I'm not knocking your beliefs. If you believe in the rapture and believe you're going to be taken away and gone up into heaven and all of that, if that's what you believe, then you believe that. But I won't let me give you what's me. And you don't have to take this. I believe that heaven is on earth. I believe that hell is on earth. I believe that. I believe that reincarnation makes more sense than burning forever and in the clouds in the heaven somewhere with gates, pearly gates and streets of gold. You go do your own research. You go back and check the history of your relationship, black people, with the Most High God that we served before Christianity was given to us and forced on us. You go do some research on that and tell me where you are. There was no heaven present there. There was no hell present there. There was no Jesus. There was no Savior present in that religion, because it was a direct relationship. And that's the thing that's been taken from us. That's the thing that's been taken from us. And that's why we've been placed into captivity. And that's why their knees are on our necks, because we're out of position. We're out of place. We don't have right relationship with God. We're coming in with idols. We're coming to him through whoredom. We're coming in all kinds of ways. We're coming in fleshly. We can't get in without music. We can't get in without dancing. We can't get in his presence without praise and worship. Listen, let me tell you something. I cannot be disconnected from the Most High God. I'm a spirit being, and if that energy is a force and that's a spirit, then how are you going to disconnect me from something like that? Listen, Judah and Jekiah have my DNA in them. You can take them from me, but you can't disconnect me from them because they are a part of me. I am a part of them. It's the same way with the Most High God. We can't be disconnected from him. We can't be taken away from him. We are of him. He's in us and we are in him. That spirit is in us. And the spirit that we have is a spirit that comes from him. If we want to personify him. Come on, demystify. Let's demystify this Christianity, because I'm telling you, I'm not against relationship. I'm just giving you me. I'm not against relationship. I'm not against you having religion, because I'm very religious about my spirituality. But I had to consider as a thinker, as a teacher, as a student of the word, I wanted to rightly divide it for myself, not just as they gave it to me. Because you'll say, oh, you'll acknowledge that, yeah, they've twisted things, they've changed things, but then you won't dig. Yeah, I know I'm losing y'all because, oh my God, now here he goes, it's the devil, he's Satan, whatever. I'm doing my part. I'm not trying to change your belief system, but I'm telling you, you got to think for yourself. You got to know your God for yourself outside of your religious organization, outside of your denomination, outside of your local church. If all of that is stripped from you, where are you? Can you still thrive as a spiritual being? Are you still connected? Or do you just need the Hammond organ? Or do you just need everybody all the time? Do you need that? If you gotta have that and you're suffering and dying from it, then your relationship isn't intact. It should have gotten stronger during this time, because you've had to have it on your own. You've had to have it for you. It's had to become real to you, even more real if it's already real to you. It should have deepened, because now you don't have all the external things that you relied on to get you to him. But you should know this, that we don't have to do anything to come to him, but just know that he's right here with us. He's never left us. He's never forsaken us. I'm just trying to give it to you the way it is, because listen, if we don't demystify all this history and all this religion that was given to us and all this stuff that's being shown to us on television, if we don't begin to demystify that, then the trick, the plots, the plans that they have for a one world government and a one world rule is going to work. And it's only a few of them on the team. It's only a few of them on the team. You better begin to think about it. And those of you that are against conspiracy theorists, I challenge you to go check out some of them and just consider the information before you automatically just say, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. And because most of you that are saying that, you're only saying that because that's what you heard somebody else say. You didn't get there on your own. Because the more you dig, you're going to start realizing that not everything is a coincidence. If anything is a coincidence. I love you all, and I want you to live life live, live it on your terms, unapologetically, not needing anybody to approve what you decide to do and how you decide to live your life. It's yours to live. Live it the way you want to live it. All I want to tell you is however you live it. Live life live. Make it count. Make it good. Maybe it's the only one you get. I don't know.